Namaste engineers, welcome back to my channel. Picture this. What if you could blaze through code faster than the Rajdhani Express? That's Neovim. No mouse, just keyboard magic. If you've ever raged at a lagging editor during a 3 a.m. bug fix for a deadline, Neovim is your jugaad to save the day. My tutorials have racked up to about 7,000 views with you awesome folks. Now it's time to crank it up with Neovim's 2025 Glow Up, packed with slick plugins like Telescope, Mason, that'll make you feel like a coding bazigar. Drop a comment. What's your biggest coding struggle? Lagging editors, config chaos? Let's talk. Also, stick around for a plugin that'll blow your mind and also help you get better at Neovim. What is Neovim? And why is it that every developer wants to at least try it out once? Well, before we get into Neovim, let's talk about its older brother, Vim. Vim is a keyboard-driven editor. Think like your nani's trusty pressure cooker. Solid, but बहुत पुराना है यार. You type H, J, K, L to move. No mouse, just pure speed. Neovim, on the other hand, is Vim's cooler cousin, like a Royal Enfield with the turbo mode. It's a modern fork with Lua scripting, async plugins, IDE like LSP Diagnostics, and so much more. Neovim also allows you to configure it in any way, shape or form that you would like. And it has multiple flavors, like LazyVim is what we're going to cover in today's video, NVChad, Astro, and there's much more. LazyVim is basically Neovim on steroids, a pre-built configuration that adds a slick UI and plugins out of the box. Like a ready-made biryani. Vim is raw, unrefined. Neovim is refined, complete, and LazyVim, well, that's the full thali. So why choose any of these three? Well, the biggest reason why people choose Neovim or Vim is to crush 10,000 line code bases, whereas other people are still sitting in lag land. It's like finding a mast dosa joint in Delhi. Comment Vim, Neovim or LazyVim and pick your team. How do you install Neovim? Well, step 1. If you're on a Mac or Linux, it's simple. All you need to do is go type brew install Neovim and wait for it to install. That's it. And you have a decent editor available in less than a second. Simply visit the LazyVim website and copy the command git clone LazyVim starter and configure it to your .config. Then run the lazy command. Boom, you're halfway to swag. You can add or customize plugins. LazyVim gives you bajillion plugins off the bat. Well, now that we have installed Neovim, it's time to explore what it can do with LazyVim flavors added to it. When you first install Neovim and LazyVim together, this is the first screen that you see. It's called the dashboard, or you can change and customize this to your needs. You can configure different alpha versions or dashboard versions. With Neovim, you can have your logo changed up. I have set it to Neovim. That's what I want, with my signature below, with my channel signature below. Do subscribe. Simply press C and it'll take you to the configuration files. Here, if you see, there's multiple amount of configurations, most of which are not really needed for a super fast and an elegant setup. Init Lua is your initialization script, which initializes your LazyVim configuration onto the Neovim installation. If you go to Lua config lazy.lua, all your LazyVim's configurations are actually set up inside of this file. Try not to edit this file as much. It leads to different complications. You can always restore it, yes, but generally not recommended. So what if I want to add more plugins? How would I do that? If you see, I have added plugins color scheme.lua. Just going and entering that file. Once I'm inside this file, I can set the theme as I want. So right now I have installed something called Catppuccin theme. And this Catppuccin theme comes from Catppuccin repo on GitHub. You can set those properties, you can set the color scheme as you want. I've set it to be default of Catppuccin, which makes it Catppuccin Mocha as my basic color scheme. You can also change color schemes during runtime by simply pressing space or your leader key. You go inside the user interface menu and then capital C to get a gist of all the other color schemes that are available by default. So Tokyo Night is your default theme that comes shipped with LazyVim. As you can see, it's pretty decent. You see, and then I choose my favorite one, which is Catppuccin Mocha. There you go. As simple as pressing a few clicks, and then there you go. You have a new theme to work with. Instead of installing multiple plugins for themes on VS Code. Okay, moving forward. Let's say I want to find files or folders in and around this directory. I can't keep going back to the dashboard and pressing C. The easy way to do it is leader FF, which gives you an entire directory, a list of all the files in your folder or your project. And here if you see, I've installed multiple plugins that are by default, and I've customized a few plugins. So here if you see, snacks.lua is a plugin that I have customized to my own needs. What this does is, in the snacks picker, which I'll show you in a second, it shows me hidden and ignored files and folders as default enabled in Explorer as well as in the picker. If I do command or leader E, it shows me Explorer on the left side. Here, all my hidden files are also shown. Simple. And if I want to hide it again, all I need to do is go back to my snacks.lua plugin file, 4K, change it to false, and it'll be hidden the next time I start my Neovim. I'll keep it at true because that's how I want it. Okay, before moving on with more complicated stuff, let me explain to you what this screen actually means and what it does. What are the different kind of information that it tells you while you're doing your coding? The first thing you'll notice is something called a normal mode. So Neovim or Vim have three different modes: normal, insert, and visual. They do as the name suggests. Normal mode lets you navigate through the entire file without actually selecting anything. Visual mode lets you select different things. So if I press V, you see here it's gone into the visual mode, and if I press Shift G, it'll take me to the end of the file, selecting everything in it. Now I can run more commands should I want. Moving forward, we have our breadcrumbs. After the mode, you can see the folder name is NVIM and the path of my current file. On the right hand side, I can see a normal clock, the cursor, where the cursor is located, the line number and the column number, where am I in the document. For example, if I do 10J, it will tell me that I am 64% through the file. Then I have 3 objects in my current file, and 10J is the command that I have given. LazyVim gives you the ability to have multiple tabs, similar to like VS Code, only faster, and each tab is called a buffer. In fact, everything is a buffer or sections of buffers inside Neovim. If I press box bracket B, it will take me to the one prior buffer, box bracket B again, a prior buffer, box bracket B again will take me to the buffer again. I can scroll left or right using left bracket or right bracket. What if I want to start a terminal here? Everything is at your fingertips with Neovim. Control and backslash will give you right at your location. Control and backslash again will remove it or hide it. Good. Now we know what Neovim looks like. We know how it works. Let's test it out. For example, D will delete the entire thing. U will undo what I've done. Control R will redo my undo. How do you exit Neovim or Vim? Well, with LazyVim, it's very simple. Leader, Q, and Q will close everything that you're working on. I've prepared a small directory here to showcase what exactly Neovim can do and cannot do. So let's walk through it. The first thing is, how do you open Neovim in this particular directory? Very simple. Run nvim dot. It'll automatically load all your files with your prefixes, and Lazy or LazyVim will load as well. I can use the Explorer should I want to find different files in it, or I can simply do leader FF. Right. So what if I want to move from my main file back to my Explorer? Simple, we know the concepts of buffer, but if you want to make use of something called windows within the buffers, it's Control and H will take you to your Explorer. Control and L will take you back to your editor. Let's do one thing. Let's walk through a few commands. Like I mentioned earlier, H is for going left, L is for going right. I think I'll better come to the center of the screen so that it's much more visible. H is going left, L is going right, moving the cursor right. Ignore the notifications that come in. I will tell you the secret in a few minutes. J is for going down and K is for going up. What I can do now, instead of using HJKL, I can also use B to go backwards on a word, or W to go forward in a word. So W, 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 W will take me to the next words continuously. B will take me backwards. Now we know how to move in a file. HJKL, we know how to move in the files. We know how we can go backwards, we know how we can go forwards. But true Vim smoothness comes in when you use multiple such things together. So let's say I want to delete this entire function. First I go to the 0th column in my line. Then I go 8k, moving up 8 spaces or 8 lines. And then I know at line number 29, my function ends. So 29j, it's ended. Lovely. I know what to move, but I've not selected anything. To select something, like I mentioned earlier, press V, 29k, and I've selected everything, right? But I've missed the end, the last line. Well, it's simple. If I want to delete it, it's very easy. I can copy and paste this as well. I can say, let's say, Y does the yanking or copying. Move down 29 spaces, 29j. I will say move 4 spaces more, and then press O to enter a new line, new commands or new code anywhere, and then press P to paste it. It's largely useless, this function, but it's just to show you what you can do with Vim motions. LazyVim also gives you these error messages in Diagnostics. Again, very easy. Press space to open up the window, the command window, press X and X, and you're shown your issues right there. Press XX again to close it. We move one space down, we do undo. I don't want that. Then double D to delete a line, double D to delete a line again. Control S will save your file. Double G will help you move at the top of the file. Shift G will take you to the end of the file. 0 will take you at the 0th position in your line. Dollar will take you at the end of the line. So now knowing this, let's delete the entire file. How do we do that? I'll go to the end of the file, at the end of the line as well. Press V, go into visual mode, double G, and then press 0. I've selected everything. Simple. And then when I press D, the entire thing is deleted. I'll just do undo, save it. To quit, again remember, space Q, Q. Lovely. Now we have seen what basics of Neovim are. You can customize them to your heart's content. If you want to know what keys work with what, just press space, space, which opens your which key plugin. It's a plugin, open source available and pre-installed with Neovim. If you see there is something called code, I'll just open before I show you that, let me open main.py, scroll down to the first function that we have, move a bit forward, space C, which shows you things that you can do with that particular code. For example, code actions. Code actions are part of your LSP. Again, a very powerful tool inbuilt within not just Neovim, but all modern editors. But Neovim takes it to the next level by giving you different kind of complexities and different kind of customization abilities. I can do source actions. I can do checkout symbols that are present on the screen. I fixed everything. I can also see all the LSP references, definitions, and so on. Space W shows you all the different things you can do with the window. Now windows are different from buffers in that a window can contain multiple buffers. That's how Neovim does it for you. If I press space WQ, it will close that entire window. There are multiple different default commands that you can do. So one handy technique that I use to find out which keys should I use for what is I press space, which shows me the key maps for LazyVim. However, if I press backspace, it gives me all the commands for default Neovim installations as well. Right. So if you see, you do Control D to scroll down, and it'll show you all the different kind of things that you can do everywhere. If you remember, Control and slash, we had a terminal on our root directory. That's the command we were using. That was a Neovim specific command and not a LazyVim specific command. Control S save file is again default Neovim command. Again, these default commands are overridden by LazyVim. If you do Shift K, it'll do the hover action, which is Shift K. It tells you similar to what a hover effect on VS Code would be. Alright, now that I've shown you a lot of plugins. I've shown you what you can do with Lazy. You can do Lazy Extras, you can configure LazyVim as per your needs, and swift through multiple projects, multiple code lines, and also customize it to whatever you need it to be. If you would like me to cover those customization options and show you how to configure in a video, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, you remember I told you that there was this one plugin which would change how you code. That plugin is called Hardtime. Hardtime.lua or hardtime.nvim is an insanely helpful plugin. So the notifications that you were seeing when I do this, or when I do this, or when I do this, or this, that's Hardtime telling me, hey, you need to get better at Neovim. Stop using either your keys, your arrow keys, or using too much of HJKL. Use shorter key sets instead. That'll make your life easier. I can do this, this, or this, or this, and Neovim or Hardtime will keep telling me, hey, stop doing it. This is bad habit. Learn. So it forces you to learn and get better at Neovim. Definitely install Hardtime. It will give you a hard time, but at the same time, it will ensure that your muscle memory kicks in, gets better, you learn through practice, and that's it. You're now ready to code faster than your friend stuck in VS Code loading screen. You've got Vim motions, LazyVim, Neovim, the hottest 2025 plugins like FZF, Telescope, Hardtime, Snacks, and so on. You're on your way to becoming a coding rockstar now. We went from Vim basics to Neovim setup that is cooler than Diljit Dosanjh's live concert. Fire up Neovim, try 10J, it's like a gym. You need to give it as many reps as possible. With that said, smash that subscribe button harder than Dhoni's sixer. Check out my Python setup video next and comment your favorite 2025 plugin. What's your Neovim goal? Lead code, dot files, or something else entirely? Drop it below. Bye.